Welcome back. So let's speak more broadly now to party politics and the outlook, particularly of the opposition towards the 2027 general election. And joining us on this particular one is public affairs analyst and columnist, Mr. Jide Ojo, who joins us also from our Abuja studio. Mr. Ojo, welcome to the program.
It's my pleasure, Bukola. Good morning.
Indeed. And so I'm sure that you followed part of our conversation with Professor Okechukwu. He also spoke about the PDP challenges. And we're wondering if, the way out for the PDP amid this leadership crisis would be the Supreme Court, the judiciary, or reconciliation. What are your thoughts against the precarious condition that the party finds itself with primaries against the backdrop of this new electoral act set for between April and May?
Thank you, Bukola, for having me. As I said in my column in The Punch of yesterday, I did advise that the best way out for People's Democratic Party is to seek out of court settlement. For the simple reason that there is just no time to exhaust all the litigations. Look at it this way. You just raised a very valid point. You are going to have party primaries from April 23 to sometimes in May. And April is upon us. Today is 12th of March. Barely a month or in a month's time, you're going to be facing party primaries. And you ask yourself, who are the people that will even buy nomination for? In a party that is factionalized, where there are two factions laying claim to leadership, because two things are very valid in nomination. The first is the position of national chairman and national secretary. These are the people that will sign your nomination for. Where there are issues about who actually are the legit national chairman and secretary, you risk having your nomination invalidated. This was even said by Governor Umueno way back in 2025 when he was defecting from PDP to APC. If I can paraphrase what he said he's not afraid of contesting under any political parties, that if he remains in PDP, he's going to win his re-election. But he doesn't want his victory to be vitiated, to be nullified. Because situations as have arisen. Even in 2023, Bukola, remember what happened in Plateau State, where the trial court, the tribunal and then the Court of Appeal said Plateau does not have, PDP in Plateau does not have structure. And for that singular reason, 16 members of Plateau State House of Assembly lost their seat. A certain number, about 6 or thereabouts of rest members lost their seat. It's only Governor Caleb Mutfwang that survived after the Supreme Court decision. So the best way out for PDP under the current situation is to just find a very amicable out-of-court settlement, knowing full well that they still have to do congresses, they still have to do convention ahead of party primaries. And the time is just not there for them to be waiting on Supreme Court. Even if you have Supreme Court decisions, and as we have seen with the case of Labour Party, where Supreme Court has ruled one way or the other, but there are different interpretations being even given to Supreme Court decision. So at the end of the day, the third force, Labour Party, is a shadow of itself. Just yesterday, news reporters said that a number of defections also happened in the National Assembly. The Labour Party, the Labour candidate, the Labour representative for Buhari area council has defected to APC. Substantial number of PDP members, about 5 or 6, also defected just yesterday. Even on Monday this week, was it Monday or Tuesday, the former deputy governor of Rivers State, now a senator representing one of the senatorial districts in Rivers State, had to defect from PDP to APC. So at the end of the day, the intra-party crisis that are in many of the opposition party is of advantage to the ruling party. which is going ahead with its own congresses, hope to have its convention, and then the party primaries in the nearest possible time. So the best way out for PDP, in my own opinion, is out of court settlement. There's what is called electoral alternative dispute resolution. They should take advantage of alternative dispute resolution rather than waiting to hear the Supreme Court speak on this matter.
Mr. Ojo, let's talk about, I have bigger concern, but I just see this as, the smaller, or let's call it the fruit of the roots of what we're dealing with. But let's begin with the fruit and stay with the fruit for a moment. There is a problem with the PDP, whichever way you look at it. So we've seen the defections and all the reasons. As a matter of fact, the governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, had said that he was waiting for that Court of Appeal decision, and then that was what broke the camel's back. He had to just find a place where there's a bit more predictability and stability, and he chose to join the APC. This is the problem. The problem is that former Governor Nyesom Wike, in cahoots with his colleagues, Sheyi Makinde, Samuel Otom, Okezekpe Azu, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, came together and said, you cannot, as a party, give your nomination to a northern candidate when a northern president is leaving office after 8 years. Now, that was a great valid point, and that was why they fought Atiku. But it was also a selfish move on the part of Nyesom Wike, because if equity was so fair, play fairly, you also give that ticket and micromanage it to the Southeast, which has been agitating in that, and wherever that Southeast is. But because he was also interested in becoming president, he said, keep it open to the South. So everybody was selfish as far as 2023 is concerned. But he was angry, but I feel that if he was made a vice presidential candidate because his name was listed, maybe things would have played out differently. Why am I going with this? He works for the president with other members of his team, and now he's still going to work for the president. So I want you to maybe speak on how this reconciliation will work. These other gentlemen, they are not interested in working for the APC. They want to have a PDP stand alone. Whether they win or they lose, they know it's PDP that won or lost, which is a very tall order. But now, Nyesom Wike, who his group is calling the leader of the PDP, which is a strange name as far as PDP is concerned. We're not used to this kind of name. We're used to it in the APC. Is now saying, I'm going to work for the president in the next election. You can't second guess him on that. But let's reconcile and see what we can do for the PDP. So what do we even make of the conundrum? There's a moral argument, there's a legal argument.
So legally speaking, I mean, it is what it is with political parties and party chieftains. They have no sense of morality. As far as they are concerned, what is of utmost importance to them is interest. As we have been told, even from my school days, the only thing that is permanent in politics is interest. And if the interest of Nyesom Wike is guaranteed, is protected under APC government, so be it. But many others are doing double face or two face. Apologies to Baba. Where in the day they will say they are PDP, in the night they are APC, or they are frolicking with APC in the night. We know all of these shenanigans that happens within the party system. The issue of fidelity to party leadership or principle is never there. Even the board of trustees chairman, Senator Adolphus Wabara, rather, who happens to be former president of the Senate, at least on one or two occasions have said that he will work for Governor Alex Otti of Labour Party in his home state. How do you reconcile that as well? Geoffrey, if your party, the leader of your party, the board chairman of your party or board of trustee chairman of your party is saying that in his home state of Abia is going to endorse the current governor, is it that he thinks PDP will not be fielding a candidate in Abia State, or he wants his stand to be known to PDP members in Abia State that, well, I will not be supporting whoever PDP produces in Abia. Rather, I will support whoever Labour Party. So we see all of these things all the time. It's not just about Nyesom Wike. Yes, it may be the most vociferous person in this game, but game of treachery, antics is known to politics. And as I said in my column last week, I said it's a game of chess. You anticipate your opponent and you plan to checkmate him. That's what game theory teaches us in political science. So it's all about interest. Whether it's selfish interest, call it whatever, it's about interest. And in a game of interest, you want to control the levers of power. Speaking to what Nyesom Wike is saying, that let's then work together, I will work for President Tinubu. But note that it's not only the presidency that will be at stake in 2027. There are still going to be 36 state governors to fight for. 36, there will still be 20, about 28 or thereabout positions to be fought in the general elections for governorship. There will still be 109 senatorial seats. There will still be 360 House of Reps positions. There will still be 991 state House of Assembly to be vied for. So even if Nyesom Wike says, for the presidency, I'm going to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but what about other positions, governorship positions? What about other state House of Assembly, House of Reps, senatorial seats, and local government chairpersons? Look at even in Abia, the same Abia governor who won election under Labour Party held a local council election, and his party, Labour Party, did not win any single seat out of the 17 local government chairperson position. 15 were won by the Zenith Labour Party, and only 2 won by the Young People's Party. And you ask that, is that not anti-party? So we see this cutting across. We saw Nyesom Wike delivering 20 local governments to APC in the last local government in Rivers State, and only 3 to his PDP. In the FCT election, he claimed to have delivered Gwagwalada to PDP and 5 to APC. So it's all about geopolitics, as you will likely call it. It's all about interest. It's all about where your interest lies per time. But we should not just say, because he has said that he is going to work for President Bola Tinubu, then the whole essence of reconciliation is meaningless. Even if they reconcile and the PDP feels a presidential candidate, what chances is that candidate going to have in 2027? Given the fact that 31 out of 36 state governors are now in APC, which is unprecedented. 31 out of 36, and we know that it's the governors that controls the levers of power. As we know, they said politics is local. Every politics is local. So even if there's a reconciliation today and PDP insisted on having a presidential candidate, to my own mind, the chances of that person pulling an upset is very, 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 very slim. You know, look at the ADC, which has been unveiled as the main opposition party, as a game changer in 2027. Since July 2025 that it was unveiled, it has not won any position. All the elective positions that it has contested since that time, it has lost. So the point is, we should not be just visited about the presidential seat. That is just one out of lot. There are still many seats to be vied for. So the earlier they reconcile, the better for the PDP. And
even if they did reconcile, there are 2 major egos in the room. That would be the one from Oyo, the governor of Oyo State, and of course, Minister Nyesom Wike. I wonder if the problem here is trust. If the PDP decides to reconcile today, should the other side be able to trust Minister Nyesom Wike, given the revelation that has been made that he held the PDP for the president, of course, which he has denied. But let's look at the broader implication of what is happening, which is even the ADC that we have as the new opposition, is it well positioned to take on the ruling All Progressives Congress ahead of 2027. Remember that it has also accused the ruling party of using the Electoral Act as a tool to sort of scheme the opposition out of the game, because it's tantamount to changing the goalpost right where the game is just, a few months away. And so the danger of a one-party state is what I want you to speak to, and its implication for the 2027 general elections, especially for Nigerians who are at the receiving end of this political party disarray.
Bukola, the point to note is that it's not the first time we are in a one-party state. And this is one of the issues I strayed in my column in the Punch yesterday. Between 1999 and 2015, it was PDP and others. PDP and others. Even when we had about 91 political parties, it was PDP and others. So we are not just, it's not a new thing to have a dominant one-party state. The bottom line is that if you must blame the hawk for wickedness, you have to first blame Mother M for exposing our children to danger. Before you blame APC for whatever becoming a behemoth, how has the opposition themselves, how have they fared? What I see from the stable of ADC is that they are now perpetual whiner, wailers, just complaining and complaining about virtually everything. They complain about the election timetable, they complain about the Electoral Act, they complain about, how they are being shortchanged. So these complaints will not help them. The bottom line is that they need to put their house in order. Why is it that Peter Obi just last week, validated or, just registered for the party? This was an unveiling that was done about 9 months ago. And many of them, even Atiku Abubakar, a chieftain of ADC, hesitated in November to go and formalize his registration. And, they would have gone far if the issue of congresses and convention had been settled before this Electoral Act, because what they will have been dealing with now is just membership, revalidation, and registration. But in all of the 6 months of last year till December, they were here, neither here nor there. Peter Obi unveiled himself on December 31 in Enugu to say, okay, here I am, I'm going to join. Then we heard that he just went to Agulu, his ward, to register again last week. These are people who are supposed to be there. I also, even the Chibika Amechi, who was attacked, whose convoy was allegedly attacked last Thursday, was it last Friday, where he was going for revalidation. We know that all of these chieftains, after they came and they were unveiled, it took them months before they even formalized their membership of ADC.
All right.
And you can see what is even coming out, that the INEC non-registration of ADA, which was the platform they had initially thought they were going to use as a third force, that there is even an interest within the ADC to ensure that even the courts did not register ADA. And this is all high-wire politicking. But I would just say that the opposition needs to get their acts together.
Indeed,
I foresee an implosion in APC at some point, particularly when the chiefs are down and the primaries are done and dusted.
Yeah.
Those who do not get tickets under APC will most likely try to try their luck under other platforms, and it will.
These reminders.
Platform, but they need to.
Mr.
They need to actually get their acts together ahead of that time, so that they can reap bountifully from whatever implosion may happen in APC.
Yeah, these reminders that you have put forward about the ADC, putting itself together, waiting until after some time before they did registrations and all of that, they're very apt to help Nigerians make informed decisions. And the prediction about APC imploding, well, we wait to see, especially because there are other aspirants waiting in the wings for 2027 to contest for positions that have been taken by those who have defected to the APC from the other political parties. But we wait to see how this will all turn out. And if, of course, they'll form good talking points for, journalists and, of course, for you as well, Mr. Ojo. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Mr. Jide Ojo is a public affairs analyst and columnist. Thank you for your time on the program.
My pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day, Bukola and Geoffrey.
Indeed. I will take a moment now. When we return, it will be time to revisit that very important conversation about how much you're buying petrol for. Stay with us. We'll be right back.